Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're just competing on the same terms of everyone else, then there's nothing to differentiate you. You know, you're opening yourself up to those 30, 40,000 competitors. But if there's something you
Yes.
can do to make a point of differentiation, you can certainly reduce that comparison and set yourselves above those other companies.
Yes, yeah. And even if you look back to the classic work called Crossing the Chasm, where they spoke around, I'm trying to remember the term, where they defined that initial audience, those initial adopters that will
Yeah,
literally run through walls for you. So typically, if you look at that, it's there's an industry, okay, and a vertical within that industry that initial product is being used, and then there's a persona. So now when you're advertising, let's assume it's a SaaS solution, it's it's for product managers in the retail industry that specifically focus on fashion for kids. You know, so like now if
yeah,
you've got that niche, so now the guy's getting an advert for someone else saying, "Oh, we do generic for product management," and this one says product management, you know, for product managers in retail focusing on kids fashion. That's you're going to be able to charge a premium, and that dynamic I think just amplifies the how compelling the offer and service is that you're delivering.
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. And obviously, you've been running Netsurit for quite a number of years now. As you mentioned, the kind of competitor landscape has, you know, massively changed in that time as well. In terms of your own offering, then how have you managed to balance, you know, keeping it focused enough whilst also making sure that you know have enough market to serve at the same time?
Yeah, so I look at 20 so going into 2019 and looking at some of our sales history, it looked not bad, organic organic growth. And we unpacked it and we looked at it and we saw that there was over over those 2 to 3 years preceding that, there were some outliers of some bigger customers that kind of trickled through. And it wasn't real marketing that we'd found those customers, and thus it was not sustainable and scalable.
Yeah,
So we realized, and then going into 2020, we had clear visibility of our two of our biggest customers we were going to lose. Okay, one was a global outsource; they were very happy with our service, and then the other, where they were very happy with our service, but they'd mandated across the group they were going to take everything in house. So
okay,
unrelated to COVID, nothing to do with COVID or the impact it was having, we were losing two of our biggest customers.
yeah,
And our lead generation and organic growth was in a massive hole. And at the same time, we were looking at one of the most uncertain pandemic, economic, external force events we've ever experienced. So we were
yeah,
like, okay, the shit's going to hit the fan. So we responded very decisively and aggressively. We went and cut costs deeply across the business. It was very tough. We did 3 rounds of layoffs, and we massively scaled down on office space. We'd always typically been in a company that had a lot of office space, an in-office culture, and obviously with the pandemic that changed. So a lot of people were working remotely. So we took 50% of those savings, Matt, and we put it back into cash flow and profits, just to
yeah,
make sure we were ready if these extenuating circumstances amplified. And then the other 50% we put into a growth and innovation provision. So since then, we've increased what we spend on marketing by 5 times. So we're
wow,
spending 5 times what we were. Okay, we deeply analyzed our target markets. We relooked at our entire offering, the way it's packaged, and probably one of the biggest investments that we, apart from the marketing and lead generation, which is just very proud to say that this year, 2022, is the best organic growth year we've ever had, bar nothing. But it took years for it to
yeah,
land.
of course,
So it didn't happen in year one, didn't happen in year two, but year three it definitely landed. And then so we got the lead generation right, and then we came up with a totally new offering, which is this Innovate offering, and that was we started that journey probably 2.5 years ago where we went out and did interviews of potential people that would benefit from this type of offering. We spoke to our customers, and so now it's in a place where it's thriving. But there was some massive product development there. But maybe just to summarize, so from there we were spending a fifth of what we are today on marketing. Okay, so we
Yep.
massively amplified that. We re-looked at the products. How relevant are they? Are they solving our customers' business challenges? But what I have found, Matt, is every 2 to 3 years, we need to almost reinvent ourselves. So we've got
Mm.
quite a comprehensive strategic planning process that includes an internal and external analysis, a SWOT, basically. And we have a
Yeah.
hard look at what's working, what's not working. We look at staff satisfaction surveys, we look at the customer satisfaction surveys, and we rethink. And it was clear we had to do one of those reinventions, not just because of the market, but some of our own thinking had gotten stale, and we needed to reinvigorate that.
Yeah, I see, and I can imagine, especially in a tech industry, there is so much innovation constantly happening. Right, there's new, services, from Amazon, Microsoft, and hundreds and thousands of startups coming along all the time. So it definitely is an industry that just moves pretty fast.
Yeah, for sure. And you just look at the Microsoft technology stack and the rate at which they make additional tools and features available. So you have organizations, Matt, that are paying a significant amount of money for a licensing, for a bundle of products and under the licensing they have. And you won't believe how many amazing opportunities there are to just switch on one particular thing or drive adoption with one particular thing that just has a massive impact.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're like I'll give you an example of something that we drive into our customer base. So what happened during COVID with remote working is a lot of our people were just doing back to back meetings, back to
Yeah.
back to back to back. And when you look at employee engagement, even though you're not traveling and maybe you can work in the comfort of your own home, back to back meetings will drive you crazy. You'll go insane if it's just incessant. You can't even go to the restroom. So simply just changing the default meeting time to 45 minutes when you schedule an hour, or 25 minutes when you schedule 30 minutes, it just
Yeah.
builds in a break. You can override it in Outlook. You can override it and make it a hard hour. So little things like that you can do. I mean, just simply saying, for instance, in the Office 365 suite, there's a tool called To Do, which is basically a to-do list system,
Yeah.
and just making sure that people are using that in their own personal planning, not enforcing it, encouraging it. There's simple things like that. And there's another tool in Microsoft Office 365 called Planner, which is a very simple project management collaboration platform.
Yeah.
Those simple things can have such a big impact.
Yeah. No, it's interesting in terms of company culture. Then, especially with obviously the changes in the pandemic, but even before that, as you've grown and evolved the company, how have you been able to, or how have you approached company culture to start with, I suppose, as well as being able to continue to evolve it?
Yeah, so it was it was 2020 was a very tough year. It was tough on our culture. It was tough on our people. 3 rounds of layoffs is not pleasant for any business. I don't think we've done. I think we've done in the entire history of the business before that, we'd only done 3 rounds of layoffs. So it was
Yeah.
very tough. So Matt, to be honest, it hurt the culture. Um, and but we continuously communicated, even when we didn't have updates. We would just say, look, we don't have a specific update in this area. So we communicated, and I think people realized that our survival was at stake, and we needed to do what we had to do.
Yeah.
So I think although there's damage in the culture when you do that, it's also how you deal with it that will protect the culture and enable it to bounce back. So, as I said earlier, we were predominantly an in-office culture. Probably 70% we were in office, and we scaled back massively on office space, and we allowed everybody to work remotely. And at some point you had to work remotely. That was kind of
Yeah.
what was the situation during the pandemic. So the one part of the culture is called a dream connect. So what we realized as we grew there were people in different parts of the business that never ever got to know each other because we weren't doing get-togethers, we weren't in the office. So like Matt and Orrin didn't even know who the other person was. So
Yeah.
what we do now is we encourage you to do 3 to 4 Dream Connects a month. So in our 300 plus people, we've got people in Poland, we've got people in Peru, we've got people in various parts of the US, we've got people in South Africa. We encourage people to schedule a 30-minute Dream Connect where you get together and you just connect. And if you've got your dream book, so most of our people have a dream book, you share your dream book, and your dream book is your top 10 personal goals and dreams visualized. So
Okay.
there's a whole process behind how you create that. We keep it pretty simple and light, and you show your top 10 personal goals and dreams to each other, and it's amazing, Matt. There's something that happens when two open, authentic human beings get together and they share genuinely what they
Mm.
each want in their lives. There's
Yeah.
something that happens, and it's like it creates a connection. And in general, the human spirit, we want to see people achieve what they want in their lives. So that's one thing that we leaned on during the pandemic really significantly was Dream Connect. And obviously the Dreams program itself, where each person gets put into a dream group. And but look, I think one of the things that protected our culture during this time was we had apart from the layoffs, we had very, very low staff attrition. So there was a history, people spending time together that
Yeah.
we were still leaning on. And I think for new people joining the business, it must have been and probably was a lot harder than if you joined a business where first day you're in the office, you're meeting everybody. So I don't
Yeah.
think we found our feet 100% yet as far as what the new Netsurit culture looks like. But we heavily leaning into the Dreams program, and we will continue to do that. We are doing and investing in more face-to-face time, but I don't think we'll ever return, Matt, to the in-office dynamic we had. And probably the last thing I'll share from a culture perspective, and we have a guy on our team. His name is Nsika. He's in recruitment, just a super bright, talented young guy. And we had a submission on our change billboard. So basically, our change billboard is where you can submit a question anonymously, and you need to answer it in the all company meeting. So
Okay.
we've had some tough questions there,
It's very
and
brave.
yeah, no, and it's like some stuff comes up. Like I remember the one year I just bought a new car. I'd bought a Hummer of all cars. This was years ago. I'm not a new
Yeah.
car guy. I think it's only, and then they asked, yeah, we're doing cutbacks and cutting budgets and not doing salary increases. And Orange just bought a new car. And I'm like, they don't understand that I kind of my salary and the business are different. So, but anyway, as
Yeah.
a leader, there's huge visibility. But the one person commented that so we really try to celebrate gratitude in our culture. And I think whether you're in office or you're remote, this is something that you can really, really lean into. And Brian, my partner, had come up with this gratitude format called Wow Moments, where you recognize people in the business for things that they've done either for our customers or for you and your team. And then we got a submission where on the changeable board, someone said, they feel that the wow moments have lost some of their gravity. So, I took it personally, but I said, okay, let me try and see if we can learn from this. We did a survey, and the majority of the business felt it had. So,
Okay.
Nsika went away and really spoke to a lot of people, did some research, and he reinvigorated our gratitude approach within the business. And he added an additional gratitude moment called Sawubona, which is basically Zulu for I see you.